Alright, so I already gave my thoughts on it the other day and gave myself a bit of leeway with that because Goad died. But that's neither here nor there. I was listening to Front Toward Enemy a bit more, and there's just one line in it that kept sticking out. And then I also decided to really just consider that line, and then I looked at the track listing again for what one Assassination Under God Chapter 2 is going to be. And I'm like, there's something interesting here. So, in the latest single by Marilyn Manson from his upcoming sequel comeback album, One Assassination Under God Chapter 2, the Antichrist superstar sings a line which seemingly stands to have some explanation to, as opposed to the rest of the song. Quote, "You chiseled open the seventh seal. It's the reason I exist." Hypothetically, on some level, this could be a harken back to Hollywood, as in biblical literature, the Lamb of God, or Jesus Christ, is the one who is worthy of opening up 7 seals detailed in the book of Revelation. These seals, in order, being the onset of the Armageddon end times prophecy, where supposedly the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are unleashed onto the world, each with their respective horse ushering in the destruction of the earth. Obviously, as with anything presented in the Bible, there's a range of interpretation surrounding the specific text at hand. Some view Revelation and these events as having yet to occur, while others see this prophecy as an ongoing process symbolically correspondent to eras of historical conflict and human struggle over the centuries. Now, in order, the 7 seals of Revelation are the following. The first is where out comes a rider on a white horse who conquers the lands and brings false peace. 2, a rider on a red horse comes and rescinds that peace, then levying war and bloodshed. 3 is riding on a black horse, then with shortage of food and ushering economic collapse with widespread famine. 4, then coming on a pale horse and accompanied by Hades, with brought about disease and mass mortality. 5 is the souls of Christian martyrs and the faithful crying out to God for justice and vindication. 6 is mass geological and cosmic disasters occurring as the sun turns black and the moon reddens. 7 is a moment of silence lasting around half an hour before 7 angels blow into their trumpets to signal further judgment to come. So, Revelation 8 is when the Lamb of God goes to unlock this 7th and final seal in the list, setting a brief pause in heaven, the eye of the storm, so to say, wherein which 7 angels go on to blare their instruments on setting further cataclysm, at least in the first half of it, that is. From there, as the trumpets are sounding, is where the already devastated world is engulfed in the typical image of the end times, basically a hailstorm of fire, blood, and darkness descending with each ringing out of the horns. Finishing off Revelation 8 is a declaration by an eagle still somehow soaring overhead, saying, quote, "Woe, woe, woe unto the inhabitants of the earth, because of the trumpet blasts about to be sounded by the other 3 angels." And so, considering the titles of the preceding yet-to-be-released tracks listed on the album, All the Vilest Things, The Arsonist, None of the Sons, and Lucifers Teardrop, with possible exception to the first single this cycle, Exit Wound, and ending an Antiamorph, it seems like an interesting musical parallel, and not out of the ordinary for Marilyn Manson to do. Basically, if One Assassination Under God Chapter 1 was concocted in purgatory, as he stated, then this endless oblivion, ending with the sacrifice of the mass, then similarly announced with the release of this latest single that, quote, "I outgrew purgatory and carved these songs into the skin of the world. As you listen, I hope it forms a scar you cannot forget. Chapter 2 may just be hell unleashed on earth." So, that's Front Toward Enemy. Now, the next bits are speculation on songs that have yet to be released at all, if they will be as singles. So, Lucifers Teardrop. This is the 7th track on the chapter, in 7-7. Wonder if there's something there. But It's never been shied away from that the god of fuck has an affinity towards the angel with the scabbed wings, which is where the title of this track obviously derives from. Possibly specific in its point of reference is the Paradise Lost inspired oil painting from 1847 of the Light Bearer by Alexander Cabanel called L'Angel Dehu, which is depicting the prideful and rebellious fallen angel, as the French title literally translates to, with a smooth and near impeccable physique laying on rocks almost at ease, whilst simultaneously poised to fire up at any moment. Before he is then cast out of paradise, his eyes are full of wrath and rage, tears swelling silently before he falls to the earth below. So, then the finale is also interesting, which is the track Enantiomorph. So, this finale from the aesthetic terrorist being the uniquely christened Enantiomorph. According to a 2008 article, this word explores a visual concept of a pair of asymmetrical images that are mirror images of one another. Merriam-Webster further defines it as either a pair of chemical compounds whose molecular structures have a non-superimposable mirror image relationship to one another. Pointed out by a listener awaiting the release on a Marilyn Manson fan server on the Discord platform, this idea is intertwined with the idea of chirality, or, like Merriam-Webster's usage of the term, an object and its mirror image that are not identical to one another. This rings a bell to the cover art for the As Sick as the Secrets Within single, which was the first released song of this whole 2-album cycle, showing Manson holding a shard of a mirror that is characterized by the reflection of his face in his hand. And so, yeah. That was those 3 songs. One's released, 2 are not, and I'm just broadly speculating on those.